This is just another podcast.
Now you know, now you know. Oh, I'm so special. I'm so special. Oh, I'm so special. Special, special. Give me what I want. I'll get you if you don't. I'm so special.
Hi friends, welcome to just another spin-off pod with your boy James. As we know, Chris is on paternity, Marlo, Kevin are working, Albert is probably sleeping early, and Edgar has softball. So like we said before, this is the spin-off pod. I'm just going to be interviewing some people I know, and they'll have some great insights about life and stuff. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how fun it is. And today, my first guest is... I have Angie Mojica Bennett, singer, dancer,
Hello.
heel appeal activist, and the easiest crier I know.
All accurate.
All accurate.
Yeah.
Christine reminded me this. Do you remember this? It was, I believe Christine reminded me. It was Beauty and the Beast live action.
Yeah.
We were watching it at Jesse's place, and then it was near the end where Beast gets stabbed, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm hearing sniffing, and I'm like, we all know what happens with Beauty and the Beast, but it's you're crying. Now,
I mean, like, I cry every time I hear like the circle of life, like the beginning part, and like picturing like Simba being raised up, and then the like animals, and
are you doing it now? You're doing it
yeah,
now. You're seeing it in your head. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's really funny. Is there anything that you've watched and you were like, why am I crying? Do you have
I
it?
mean, there was probably the Jollibee commercials.
Oh no.
Do you know those ones where it's like frigging like 10 minutes long, and it's like the most dramatic, like tear-jerking plot ever, and then it's like Jollibee at the end of it. I think it was like their Christmas ads like a few years ago or something. I don't know if they do that every year.
The Christmas ads? I was gonna say the those like the wedding one.
Oh yeah,
that
but
one?
wasn't that part of
Was that for Christmas? Oh,
I
shoot.
think so. There was another one where I think it was like an alcohol brand that they did like a Christmas ad too, and I started crying. I was like, why do you have to manipulate my emotions like this for a stupid ad?
Did you ever see the one? Well, I'm sure you have. It was the one where the son and mother go to Jollibee for like a Valentine's date because the dad used to always take. Yeah, like why? She's crying. Like, why do you have to do that? Like, just sell us Jollibee. Don't have to make us cry. Like,
Bida ang sarap. Isn't that their slogan?
yes. I think one of the other things that we'll get to what we're going to talk about eventually, but I think one of the other things was on America's Got Talent. It was the girl who couldn't hear, who would feel the vibrations. Yeah. And I remember Christine and Jesse showed you that video, and you like cried instantly.
Oh, for sure. Like Sam does too. Yeah. I'm not the only like super emotional. Maybe it's a Capricorn thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we also watched, what's that Disney movie at Jesse's place? The one Inside Out. I think you cried in that one too. Probably.
Yeah, I feel like I cry at like almost every Disney movie. I've also cried on stage during some of my solos.
Well, actually, that's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
So the segue to we met because of the Winnipeg Glee Club. How did you find the Glee Club, and then what made you join?
I knew Kuya Jesse, so the director, through previous things. It might have been probably youth group. And then I saw him post something on Facebook, and I was like, I just wanted an outlet to perform. And so on a whim, I went. I think it was at like Kevin Lamro's office was the audition.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Back in like, it must have been 2010 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I remember walking in, and then there are people that I knew from, they went to my elementary school as well. And when I was in elementary, we had a musical, which was Mulan. And so I played Mulan in it. And so I walked in and they're like, oh, what's Mulan doing here? And so I was like so nervous. But
So
I
did
feel like, sorry?
no, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but I feel like it was basically something that like I did on a whim. And I'm really happy that I kind of pushed through my nervousness and feeling intimidated from the people that I already knew that were in the group, because it really allowed me to, I guess, become more confident and to be able to do something I love and meet new friends.
Of course. Since you said Mulan, were you in Aladdin Junior as well?
I wasn't, because I
Oh,
had honor choir during audition day,
okay.
and then I just went home because I was too tired from honor choir.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends back in the day, he was Aladdin at Tech Voc, and then
Mm.
Sergeant was having the their you guys were doing it too the same year.
Yeah.
So we went and watched, and I remember there was this the kid who played Aladdin. I remember him being just okay. And not to be disrespectful. I mean,
Yeah,
it's hard to
yeah.
do it, but
Yeah.
I just remember him being okay. And I remember I jokingly said, I'm like, I guess a bunch of guys didn't audition to become Aladdin.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, so that's what you got you there. Now, I guess because when was the last Glee Club performance? 2018?
18, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the pandemic happened. Is that what led you to Heel Appeal? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I danced with through two places. So Heel Appeal is a heels company ran by Sophie Kill.
Mhm.
So she was actually my first dance teacher ever.
Okay.
Um,
Wait, time out.
I
Time out. Time
yeah.
out.
Okay. Yeah.
Sophie, is she the one who choreographed like all those High School Musical plays in for high schools?
No.
Okay, confused her with somebody
Yeah.
else. Never mind.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so Sophie also teaches heels through drop and dance.
Okay.
Heel Appeal operates out of drop and dance, but they're kind of separate entities.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the first dance class I took was September of 2020 or September 2021. I think September 2021. I don't even know how I found out about it, but it was a K-pop program.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I signed up for it on a whim. I was like hemming and hawing over it for like a couple weeks. And then I signed up, I paid, and then I think this was a month before the program actually started. So the day before the program started, I looked at my emails. I was like, oh crap, it's a level 3 class. Like this is the first like dance class I've ever taken. And it was the first physical activity I'd done since the start of the pandemic.
Right.
And so I remember going to the class. We had like a little sharing circle, and I was like, yeah, like this is my first like dance class ever. And I remember even during the warm up afterwards, I had to walk out because I was seeing stars.
Oh no.
Yeah. But we made it through the dance class. It was fine. I had a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, I think what drew me to finally signing up was I always wanted to learn how to dance,
Mm-hmm.
but I was always intimidated to do so. Both through people telling me that, oh, like one of my friends growing up, like, oh, you're the singer, I'm the dancer, type of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or like my family would tell me like, oh, like you move really stiffly. So like it was all those kind of like negative affirmations, if you will, that like
Right.
led me to not want to learn how to dance, especially because growing up we were like middle income but on the lower end. So like my parents could only put us into one recreational activity at a time. And so that was singing. So it was either like I had to pick like one activity to do. And so
Right.
singing was what I did. And so I never, like, it's super intimidating to jump into something new as an adult, but especially something like dance where you know a bunch of people have taken it through their whole lives,
Right.
type of thing. Yeah. And so yeah, super intimidated to start dancing, but I'm glad I did. And that was really one of the leading factors that led me to sign up for the class was when I love K-pop. So let me live my like K-pop idol like life there. But also just the opportunity to perform on stage again, and
Mhm.
beyond that to create something with a bunch of people.
that share the same passion.
Yeah.
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 Did you like find them through social media and then you're just like, that looks like fun? Or
Probably. Like I don't even remember how I found out about them. It could have been like someone I knew who shared it to their stories, or I could have been like Googling like K-pop classes Winnipeg. Like I don't know how I eventually landed up on it, but it's kind of like that serendipitous moment, if you will.
okay. Okay. So level 3, first day, you're seeing stars because you're
Yeah.
gassed and dehydrated.
So out of shape.
Was this one of the like the heels? Like is this your first time ever dancing in
No,
heels?
so I
Okay.
actually didn't start dancing in heels until like, so the way drop-in dance operates is
Okay.
they primarily have like drop-in classes. So like you don't have to sign up for a full program. You could literally like drop in and take a class. Which I didn't do. Like I jumped headfirst into taking a program. So like a 3-month commitment, working on the same piece of choreography to eventually perform. So that was September 2021, I'm pretty sure. And then I didn't take my first drop-in class until I think October, which was another like K-pop choreo class. And then I took a heels class in November of that year. And being tall, like I don't wear heels. And
Right,
so it was like it's very humbling, like looking back at the video like that I first took. Because like my thing is like I always take a video, like sure I post it on social media, but my social media for me kind of serves as like a visual dance diary for myself.
Okay.
Because otherwise it'll just end up on my phone. I won't be able to like organize the type of thing. But yeah, like I remember watching my first video and like comparing my progress to now, it's like I don't like watching it anymore.
Because I bet at first you're like, oh, I'm not that bad. And then you're watching it now, you're like, I was that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, was it tough though? Like dancing in heels? Like the balance and all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I find, like because when I started heels too, if you notice, like a lot of people who dance heels normally, like we usually have like the open-toed shoes and the stilettos. And you'd think that makes it harder, but it's actually easier to dance in those type of heels because one, with the open toe, you kind of have more control over how your foot moves and you're able to like get more balance that way if you like spread your toes, which sounds kind of gross, but like yeah, like you have more flexibility and like room to move in that sense. And also with a stiletto heel, there's less weight kind of carrying you in the back.
Okay.
Because like dancing in heels is almost like in ballet how like you're on not point. Yeah, but that's essentially how it feels when you're dancing in heels is more of your weight should be on the front of your foot as opposed to the heels because that allows you to move a lot easier. And so when I first started dancing in heels, I wore the only heels that I owned, which was like a closed-toed pointy leather boot with like thickest like block heel. And I think I was wearing that to dance for a good like 4 months or so before like I actually moved on and actually like invested in a pair of dance heels.
Were your legs and like what hurt the
Oh yeah.
most?
Muscles I didn't know existed. Like
the next day we're like, I'm not getting out of bed. Like it's not.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there's still some days after dance where I'm like, oh my god, like I can't move type of thing. But yeah, dancing in heels requires a lot of balance. So you're like activating your core. You're also doing a lot with like your like upper body too, like your shoulders, because you have to like especially now that I started taking a lot more technical classes, like dance is a full body like type of thing. And like it's not just about being able to remember the choreo, but you need to have like the strength and the flexibility to be able to support that.
Right.
And so yeah, like my arms are sore because like if you're doing turns, like it's actually like your shoulders or like your lats. I think that's a muscle that like supported a lot more. Obviously, like your quads, like your glutes,
right,
your hamstrings, your calves, ankle strength too, and foot strength is really key. So it's like every single thing. And it's like the more I dance, the more like I feel like there's so much more growth and there's so much that I still
Mhm.
don't know type of thing compared to when I first started dancing. My first class was like, oh yeah, like I feel like a boss, like doing all this, like I look so good and whatnot.
Okay, so like your shoulder, when your shoulders hurt for the first time after, you're like, why are my shoulders hurting?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, and obviously like your neck too. Like
Because
with
you're
all the like hair whips and stuff. Yeah.
okay. Okay, I have a segue to that question, to your dancing, because of the style of dance. As one of the guyas, I feel I don't want to use the word uncomfortable watching
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Angie's doing stuff that I'm not used to seeing her do.
Yeah.
How different was it for you doing that? Because I'm
Mm.
sure you've never done something like that.
Yeah.
Let's go
I think.
provocative.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like I've always been someone who's had some kind of like body image and like self-esteem issues,
Mm,
especially because like with my body type, it's so far from like the Filipina like traditional like ideal form. Like
smaller
I'm
stature,
tall,
yeah.
like yeah, like I'm curvy, like my skin is like more tan. So like I've always had some kind of like yeah, like self-esteem issues related to it.
Mhm.
And so I guess part of it's not dance related, but part of what allowed me to get more comfortable in my skin was actually doing a boudoir shoot and then
Oh,
doing
I
like
remember
some
that.
yeah, yeah, and then doing like from that I did a little bit of like freelance modeling. And so like I feel like going into heels dance was kind of the next evolution of that
Mhm.
was because like for photography and like modeling, it's still this very curated image of you where like posing is a lot of work like in order to like create those shapes like you have to like stick your back out or like you're still like manipulating yourself in a lot of ways and not to mention like all the makeup and hair that goes with it.
Mhm.
So like even though it helped address some of those self-confidence issues, it was only when like I put in that effort to like look good type of thing. um and I think especially as an Asian woman we're always like raised to be like conservative and um like the stereotype is your parents telling you to change if like your shorts are like too short or like your skirt is too short. And so I feel like through heels dance, it was a way to one kind of reclaim that narrative and to
Mhm.
become comfortable with myself in that way. But also it allowed me to connect with my body in a way that I could actually like it wasn't a separate part of me, if
Right.
that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Because yeah, because like through dance, like you have to be aware of like what your body's doing. Um, and yeah.
What a positive
Yeah.
message. Good job,
Yeah.
Angie. Have your parents watched you?
My mom comes to all my shows.
Oh, dope. And what are
Yeah,
her
yeah.
thoughts? Was like her
She's
first was her sorry, was her first thought
yeah.
like shocking seeing you do that or
Surprisingly, no. Like I
okay.
remember she came to my first like heel appeal show
Okay.
and she actually said that it was one of the best shows that I've been in that she's seen.
Ooh.
So it was like very affirming in that sense. Especially because like through Filipino culture, like your family is always telling me like, oh, like you're so bad now, like you're so fat now, or like you've gained weight. And she's
Mm,
been one of those people that say that. And so like to hear her say that she actually enjoyed the show, she actually enjoyed me performing. Like it was very like again very affirming. And she like likes all my like Instagram posts or like when I show her like my photo shoot pictures, because that's also one of the things through the Heel Appeal program is that we have a showcase that we prepare for, but there's also a photo shoot component to it.
okay.
Yeah, and so like I sent her my pictures from that, and she's like, "Ay, ang ganda mo dyan. Like you're so pretty there." Yeah.
Oh, I
So
like
like
it.
yeah, yeah. So like the response from her has been really positive.
That's dope. You know what?
Yeah.
For titas, I don't know if we have many titas that listen to my pod, or
Yeah.
our pod. Sorry, guys. Our pod. That's something that I think moms and titas need to adapt to. Is that
Mhm.
Filipino kids now are different. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
awesome. That's awesome that your mom
Mhm.
supports you like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but how was it for you the first time like dancing in front of people in heels? Were you like your first showcase? You're like, oh crap, it's the first time I'm performing in heels in front of people. Were you like, I'm gonna
I
fall?
wasn't. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, I wasn't as nervous for the
Okay.
performance per se.
Okay.
It was more so when I first started sharing my dance content on my Instagram.
Oh.
Because, yeah, so like when I first started sharing it, like I'd only posted to close friends.
Mhm.
And so like I started dancing like September 2021. I don't think it was until like December of that year where I actually posted it on my
Public.
feed as like a permanent like reel. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so it was like, yeah, building up that confidence, being able to like share it, like knowing that I don't have a lot of experience as a dancer and that I have like friends and acquaintances that have like danced their whole life. Like, again, it's for me to kind of keep track of the progress. But another thing too that I try to like keep in mind for myself is that I try to make my Instagram account
Mhm.
how like what I wanted to see growing up. And so like if I post this content, then I'm hoping other people can see themselves in it and can try new things that they were nervous to try before. Yeah. So I'm just trying to
Aw.
like emulate those active vibes.
Oh wow. What a message. What a message.
Yeah.
Look at Angie trying to be an influencer. Jeez. That's my goal. What a cool job to be an influencer. Okay. So since we're speaking of dance, your wedding,
Yeah.
who came up with that idea? Your big elaborate dance, you and your brother and your
Oh,
dad,
that
right?
was, yeah, that was my idea.
Okay.
Cause like I had people like ask me like, oh, like so you're gonna dance to your wedding, right? I was like, I don't know, like maybe. And then yeah, like my brother was flying in and I managed to somehow convince them to like do the dance. And so like my dad actually danced growing up.
Oh,
Yeah, he used to know how to break dance. Yeah.
that's
I
dope.
actually yeah, so like I remember there was one year in high school where I played basketball.
Mhm.
That's a whole nother story on how I got on the team. But like
Okay.
yeah. But my dad ended up becoming assistant coach and I remember him like moving his shoe on the floor and saying like, oh, this would be good for like break dancing type of thing. Yeah. So like he had experience like dancing before, like more street styles of dance.
Mhm.
He's kind of lost that in his like years.
Obviously.
Yeah. And then my brother just knew dance through like clubbing and like dance revolution and
That's
whatnot.
funny.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to convince them to be like, okay, we're doing this for a wedding, no questions asked, or it's like, come on, dad.
Yeah. No, it was more the first. Whereas like if I put together like a mix, would you guys like dance with me? And they're like, okay, sure. And then it
Oh,
was more of like, yeah. And then I sent them the mix. And I was like, here, you can try to like learn the choreo from here. But we basically put it together in maybe 2 or 3 practices
oh
leading
wow.
up to the wedding, like a week before our wedding. Yeah.
Wow. Wait, okay, hold on, because I know your brother doesn't live
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So did you Zoom call, Skype call, or whatever to dance together, or
So the reason why we only prepped for it a week before the wedding was because he flew in a week before the wedding.
got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
rented out like a studio. I think it was maybe only 2 times where we rented out a studio and then we had a practice at the venue the night before. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Cause then we had our dress rehearsal at the venue the night before. And then once Steven left, like I was like, let's have our tech run basically. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I have no follow-up questions in terms of dance and stuff. Like, is there anything else you want to say about the dance before I get into my dumb questions?
Um, I
You want to
guess the
shout them
only,
out and stuff?
oh, sure. Yeah. So, like I said, the studios that I dance out of, Drop In Dance Winnipeg,
Mhm.
um, I really like them because they really cater to every kind of walk of life. They have kids classes. I've met people there that are like in high school to one of the people I dance with, she's like 60 years old,
Oh wow.
type of thing, taking like a bunch of classes. Yeah. So it's like they have, they really cater to adults basically, and adults who don't have any dance experience. Their motto is like dance is a community. And
Okay.
yeah, so like every time I'm there, like I feel super welcomed. Um, usually the format of dance classes is you learn the choreo, you do some small groups, and like people are always like cheering each other on. So it's always a great time. And there's such a broad range of dance classes. So for me personally, I got into the studio through K-pop, and then I started doing heels. And then I started doing everything from like hip hop, tomorrow I'm doing ballet and lyrical. So it's
Whoa.
this whole like range of like dance classes that people can take. And another company that I dance with is Heel Appeal. So it's primarily focused on heels dancing. There's a lot of crossover of people who dance in Heel Appeal and drop in dance. We have showcases coming out for both. So drop in dance is June 15th at the West End Cultural Center, and then Heel Appeal, and it's HEELAPPEAL for Heel Appeal, is June 16th at the Park Theater.
Look at that. And where can you get tickets?
Check my link in bio. No, but legit.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Angie already practicing her influencer vibe. Look at that.
No, the only reason I have a link in bio is so I can remember what the links are for when my mom and Steven ask like where they can buy tickets.
That's good. I mean,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
Actually, you made me think of a question. Did you were you set on only going to dance K-pop, or were you like,
I think I was always open to exploring different styles.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah.
So speaking of K-pop, Christine told me this. So Steven's understanding that he comes second to
Oh yeah.
your lover.
Yeah. Yeah. So he knows that T.O.P. will forever be my number one husband.
Okay.
From Big Bang.
Okay.
And like so for the longest time, my wallpaper was one of our wedding pictures. But Stray Kids came out with this teaser for their new comeback. And so I made a wallpaper, a separate one for my lock screen and my home screen, and my 3 biases from there. So Steven knows he's at least in my top 10, but he's not in the top 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my. I don't feel comfortable doing the same. Christine and the baby are my top 2.
I see that side eye.
Hopefully, if she's just gonna listen to it, maybe she doesn't watch the video portion, then we're good. Okay, so your favorite all-time K-pop group, Big Bang?
Big Bang. Oh, for sure, yeah. Still to this day.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
You got to see them live.
Yes, 2015, their May tour, basically their last tour before they started going to the military, and before Sungri got caught up with that whole scandal that we shall not talk about. That
yeah, we don't have to talk about that one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I always wanted to see them live, and I just never got to. 2015. Can you imagine? That's like almost 10 years ago.
I know, it's wild, and it's still like, I remember I flew there specifically for the concert because it was the last year of my undergrad and it was during midterm season. And so I think because it's like I knew that they're gonna start going into their mandatory military enlistment. So it's like, when is the next time I'm gonna see them and have them be this close and like as a whole group? And like the only other time I'm probably gonna see them is like if they go to the States or if I go to Korea, and like that's both are like super expensive options. And so like I went all out for the tickets. Yeah, like basically the next tier above mine would have been like the backstage or like the meet and greet type of thing. But I got like pit seats, like I didn't have to zoom in for my videos. Like it was amazing.
Did you get to touch them?
No.
You weren't that close, or were you close?
No.
Okay.
I probably was close enough that like some of their sweat might have flicked off stage.
Okay.
But not enough to touch them, yeah.
Okay. That's fun. And Top is your favorite. Oh, sorry. T.O.P. is your favorite out of all of them. Okay. Who's your second fave?
Probably G-Dragon.
Oh, she likes the rappers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And Taeyang.
I mean, it's generally those 3, and then the other 2 are no disrespect to Daesung, but like Daesung's
I will say that Daesung was probably one of the best out of all of them in terms of performing live and engaging the audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's like, I think it's without debate the best singer out of the five.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I think it's because he does all those like variety shows. That's why he's so good at like interacting with people.
Yeah, for sure.
So with about 10-ish minutes left, a little under, I'm gonna do my dumb questions before I let you go and do your dance.
Sure.
So my first dumb question, it's not really a dumb question. So this is something we always ask everybody that we've had on the show. If you caught your best friend creeping, what are you doing? Are you going to tell? And you're friends with the best friend's partner. So what are you doing? Are you going to tell the friend? Are you going to confront? What are you going to do?
What do you mean by creeping? Like how bad?
Like you and Steven are, walking in the mall, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, it's what's his face with, or their face with someone else, and they're holding hands and stuff.
I think I would first talk to the person who was like doing the cheating per se, just to get their side of things. And like I'm the type of person who tries to give people the benefit of a doubt.
Okay.
Like, for example, like if I hear something bad about someone, then I'm not going to believe it until they do me bad, type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like I try to figure out what the situation is with them. But if I get a bad vibe, then I tell like whoever's being cheated on, like, hey, like this is what I saw. Like, I just want to let you know. I don't want to keep this from you, type of thing. But I try to get clarification first. And if the vibes are wrong, then I go to the person.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. That's mostly what everyone says.
Yeah.
First. Okay. Now let's get to the real dumb question, because I did. If you listened or not, I had asked James this too. If you one day woke up and you Freaky Friday with Steven, what is the first thing you're doing, or what are you doing that whole day? So you woke up, you're Steven, and you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Utilize his white privilege. No,
oh my god.
That was the first immediate answer.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's so good.
I guess also like see how things are like being 6'1", like touch the like roof on stuff without jumping, dodge doorways. Yeah.
You wouldn't, because Christine says this with me. She would take me to the dentist as me. So
that would be a more responsible thing to do. But I also hate going to the dentist, so like I'd probably like go as far as booking him a dentist appointment.
Oh, so like when you switch back, you're like, oh, you have a dentist appointment.
yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't want to go to the dentist myself in his body. You know what I mean? Because I already have enough like stuff going on with my teeth, and like have had stuff going on with my teeth. Like I don't want to voluntarily go to the dentist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So utilize his white privilege and touch tall things. That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. Because James had said prior that he, if they body switched, he would see if they could twerk, because he wants to know if they were just, they can't, or their body just can't, or it was a mental thing. And then James also said he wanted to see if there was really a limit on how much food a person can eat. Because you know how James doesn't stop. So
right, yeah.
I think you would do the same.
I would probably do the same, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Well, because like the thing with Steven is like I wouldn't say like he's a picky eater. Like he's definitely gotten a lot, like he's allowed himself to expand his palate a bit more. But he's a very preferential eater. Like he's started to know like what he likes and dislikes, but he'll at least give things a try once.
Okay.
Sometimes with me insisting a lot and be like, please, like just have a bite.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Yeah. He could actually eat a lot if it's something that he really likes. Like I remember sometimes we would order from Captain's Boil after taking an edible or two. And we would each finish like our own bag. Like he'd get the shrimp, I get the clam. We'd get like an order of the fried rice, and we could devour the whole thing. So like I know he has room in there. It's just he chooses not to fully utilize the space. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's 6'1" and lanky. I mean, and like he's tall, lanky.
Yeah.
So there's obviously space.
Yeah.
Okay, so white privilege, see what you could hit with your head and
Yeah.
see if there's room in that belly for real.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay,
And maybe book a dentist appointment.
And book
Yeah.
appointments in the future when after you guys switch back. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh man. With that being said, thank you, Angie, for doing the pod. If you have socials, you want to plug?
Sure. So the only social I have, I post like basically everything on there is Babotea, Babotea. So not boba tea, but Babotea. Yeah.
like dumb, right?
Yeah,
okay.
That's how I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Not a lot of people catch that, but yeah, that's what it is.
That's exactly what I thought it was. At first I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, it's dumb, right? That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. I was initially gonna do like Babotea, but then people probably wouldn't get that, and like Babotea is more symmetrical, so it looks cuter, like as a username. I think about these things.
My dyslexia reads it normally. My dyslexia reads it as boba tea. So
yeah.
But yeah.
It's funny because like I don't have my actual name on my Instagram. And so people who have met me only through dads, they still call me like Babo or like Babotea until they finally know my name.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, it's cool to be known as a nickname.
Yeah.
But yes, Angie, thank you for doing the pod. I will say this. Thank you for showing up at our baby shower. Much love.
Of course. Yeah.
We do love you guys, and we can't wait for our little guy to meet his dancing tita. And
the feeling is mutual.
Don't stop. You already did this one. You don't have to do both, okay? Like, don't do that.
That's another part.
Okay. No, you know what? I was gonna do a nice little bye. No, that's it. That's how we're ending our pod.
I'm trying to go. There's that one too.